Today I'm back with another comparison video, and this time I want to compare two popular SUVs within the Hyundai lineup, the Hyundai Kona and the Hyundai Tucson. So the vehicles beside me are a 2023 Hyundai Kona Limited and a 2023 Hyundai Tucson SEL Convenience. Now you might not think that these two actually compete in terms of features and options as well as the price point, because this is a fully loaded Kona while this is only a mid-trim level of the Hyundai Tucson, but in actuality they are very similar. So the Hyundai Kona is technically a subcompact SUV while the Hyundai Tucson is a compact SUV, and this is one of the larger compacts in the segment. So in terms of the physical aspects and physical dimensions, they are quite different. And in terms of the powertrain of each of these two vehicles, that is where another big difference comes into play. Now, the Tucson features a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine that puts out 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed torque-converted automatic, so a very traditional four-cylinder powertrain. Now moving over to the Kona, this is powered by a 1.6 liter turbocharged four-cylinder paired to a 7-speed dry-type dual-clutch transmission, and this puts out 195 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. So yes, the Kona is technically the more powerful out of these two vehicles, and it's also lighter weight, so it's going to feel a little bit more nimble, and it obviously is going to be quicker with that extra power. And in terms of pricing, make sure to stick around to the end of this video where I will cover the exact difference in pricing between these two vehicles. But in this video, I want to cover the exact features and option differences between these two trims, as well as some of the physical characteristic differences between the Kona as well as the Tucson. So let's not waste any more time and take a look at what each of these two vehicles has to offer. And one last thing I would like to mention is that if you're curious about a full walk around or a few more details about each of these vehicles behind me, I have a dedicated video here on the channel covering just that. So if you want to know a full walk around of the Kona Limited or the SEL Convenience, as well as multiple trims of the Tucson, make sure to check out the dedicated videos here on the channel where I go over that in a little bit more detail. And one last thing I would like to note is that this is technically a front-wheel drive SEL Convenience Tucson. However, I will be comparing pricing for an all-wheel drive since the Kona Limited is an all-wheel drive, and I think all-wheel drive is overall a little bit more popular for both of these vehicles. So starting out here with the Hyundai Kona, this one is finished in the Blue Wave exterior color with the black leather interior. Once again, this is a subcompact SUV, so it is going to be smaller than the Tucson over there. You will find full LED lighting up front, with LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals up top with your LED reflector headlights down below. The Limited has the premium gray trim along the lower portions with some silver accents, gloss black grille, chrome Hyundai emblem, 18-inch alloy wheels, gloss black accents with machine finish. You do have Hyundai digital key on the door handles, body color mirror caps with LED turn signal indicators. They're going to be heated with blind spot detection in them. Out back, you will find LED lighting once again with your LED taillights, turn signals and reverse lights down below, rear parking sensors, some silver accent trim once again, backup camera, all that good stuff here on the back side of the Kona. This is a pretty attractive subcompact SUV. It has been around for quite some time, but like I said, it did get a refresh for 2022. So it got slightly updated styling, which I think definitely helped it out. Keeps it looking pretty fresh and relevant. Now moving over to the Hyundai Tucson. Once again, this is a compact SUV, so it is a step up from the Kona over there. And this is one of the larger compacts, so it is going to be a fairly large size difference between these two vehicles. But starting up front of the SEL Convenience, once again, you will find full LED lighting. So you have your LED daytime running lights on the sides of the grille there, with your LED reflector headlights down below, and your turn signals are going to be found kind of right here on the outside of that assembly. Some dark gray grille with the chrome Hyundai emblem, some more silver accent trim, and pretty standard black cladding that runs the bottom of the outside of the vehicle. 19-inch alloy wheels with kind of that dark gray machine finish once again. Body color mirror caps, LED turn signal indicators, heated with blind spot detection. Hyundai digital key on the door handles once again. There you can see from the side, it is a fairly large vehicle, especially when you compare these side by side like this. The Tucson styling is definitely very distinctive. I think it's become very popular and people do enjoy it. I think it is very aggressive, but I think it works, especially here on the Tucson. LED taillights up top with a bar running across the tailgate. And you have your incandescent turn signals and reverse lights pretty far down here on the back side of the bumper. Still have your backup camera, Hyundai emblem on the glass. One kind of unique feature of the Tucson is that the wiper is integrated up into the rear spoiler, so it's not here traditionally where it would be on the rear glass, kind of out in the elements. It definitely keeps the snow from building up on it in the wintertime if you live in a climate like that, but I think it definitely cleans up the design of it as well. So yeah, I think both of these two vehicles look very attractive for their respective segments. So there is the Tucson once again, there is the Kona. I think these colors are very nice. They're definitely some of the brighter ones in the lineup, especially over here on the Kona with this blue. Let's go ahead and take a look on the interior, see what the size and kind of the physical dimension differences are, and then we'll discuss some of the feature differences as well. So here in the front seat of the Hyundai Kona, I've gone ahead and set the driver's seat to my rough driving position. And once again, this is a subcompact SUV, so it is a little bit smaller. However, there is still a good amount of space between the console and the door panel for your legs, so plenty of legroom, stuff like that. The seats themselves feel a little bit more narrow. The seat bottom feels narrow than something like the Tucson over there. So that is something to consider if you are a larger individual. You might not find the seat itself as comfortable, but otherwise the materials are as expected for a subcompact SUV. I would like to see maybe some more soft touch materials on the upper door panel as well as the dash. But other than that, the technology is great for this class, as the two larger screens, adaptive cruise control, highway driving assist, heated front seats, leather seats. I guess that is something to consider as well, is that I found the H-Tech leatherette seating a little bit softer, more plush than this leather in the Kona. So that is a minor gripe or minor thing I noticed. This is not uncomfortable by any means. It's just I like the synthetic leather of the Tucson a lot better. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty much to be expected for this class of SUV. So here in the back seat of the Hyundai Kona, once again, this is where the subcompact, or how small this vehicle is, really comes into play. So I'm sitting behind my rough driving position. I maybe have 1.5 inches worth of legroom. There is plenty of footroom down there, so that is nice to see. As far as headroom goes, I probably have somewhere around 2 to 3 inches, so that is not a problem either. The seat back is not reclinable like the Tucson over there, so there's no handle to go ahead and recline it. That is a little bit unfortunate, but once again, this is the class of vehicle, not really to be expected. It's nice that I do have a soft touch door panel back here. That is not something you will find on the Tucson over there, or some of the other lower trims of the Kona as well. So that is kind of limited to the higher trims of the Kona. But yeah, this is pretty much to be expected here in the back of a subcompact SUV. It's nice to have a single USB charge port, although I would like to see rear AC vents added. That's something that my personal Elantra GT has in the back seat. So that would be nice to have here in the back seat, but otherwise it's pretty much to be expected. So stepping inside the Hyundai Tucson, once again, I've set my rough driving position, and immediately sitting down in these seats, you can feel just how much wider they are, as well as how much more soft and kind of flexible the material is itself. So that's something I noticed right off the bat. I definitely prefer these seats to something like the Kona over there. However, some of the interior materials are going to be very similar. Like I said, the door panel materials are going to be very similar between the two. However, if you do step up to a higher trim Tucson, you will find slightly nicer armrests and stuff like that. The technology is going to be very similar between these two, but there's no highway driving assist, like I mentioned, no larger infotainment with built-in navigation. However, you do get the wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. But here in the front seat, I will say it's slightly wider feeling. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that's true, but I just feel like I have a little bit more legroom and knee room around the center console as well as the door panel. But yeah, it is fairly comparable in terms of just the overall material aspects. However, I do like these seats much better. So stepping into the back seat of the Tucson, once again, you're going to see the size difference between these two SUVs immediately. So in terms of legroom, I probably have somewhere between 8 to 10 inches of legroom behind my driving position. In terms of footroom down there, my feet really don't even go under the seat, so I have plenty of footroom. It is a little bit disappointing to see the lack of a soft touch armrest on the rear door card, but if you step up to a higher trim Tucson, you will have a padded armrest on the door. In terms of headroom, I probably have somewhere around 4 to 5 inches. There is a cutout here in the headliner, so that makes extra room if you sit back in the seat. And in terms of the seat material, once again, these seats are a little bit softer, just a little bit more plush in my opinion. And it's nice to have a reclining function on the seat. So pull this lever on the side and you can recline the seats here quite a bit. So that makes sitting for longer road trips or longer distances much more comfortable. You have a rear seat AC vents as well as an extra USB-A charge port. So again, nice to see some more amenities in the back seat of the Tucson. So here in the back of the Hyundai Kona, as far as the cargo capacity goes, this is going to be a big difference between these two SUVs as well. So just being the overall size that this SUV is, you're gonna have a limited space behind these second row seats. You do still have a nice hard cargo cover here to kind of keep it private back here so nobody's looking in the back, seeing what you have stored back here. You will find the subwoofer on the right or passenger side of the vehicle. You have a light on the left side, no 12-volt outlet here in the back, which is a little bit unfortunate and kind of surprising to see. This one has a lot of accessories, so you have all your accessories back here right now. However, looking underneath the floor, you do have an inch or two worth of extra storage room. And then lifting this up, you do have a temporary spare tire, which is nice. So yeah, that is just one of the big differences in the back of the Kona, is that your storage capacity or cargo capacity is going to be smaller than the Tucson. So immediately you can see you have a power tailgate, which is a nice feature that is not available at all on the Kona over there. And behind the second row seats, just because of the larger physical dimensions of this SUV, you have more cargo capacity. And I believe the load floor is either equal or a little bit lower than the Kona as well. No premium audio, so no subwoofer in the back. You do have lighting as well as a 12-volt outlet on the driver's side. You have levers to kind of fold the second row seats down, so you can do that from the back here. Underneath the floor, you do have a temporary spare tire and a little bit of additional storage around it. Not too much, but a little bit, so that is nice to see. But yeah, this is much larger here in the back behind the second row seats than something like the Kona. So now that we've taken a look at each vehicle, I want to go over the exact feature differences as well as the exact pricing differences between each of these two vehicles. So I'm going to break this down in terms of feature advantages or features that the other one does not have. So here in the Tucson SEL Convenience, you do get LED interior lighting. You get dual zone automatic climate control versus single over there in the Kona. You have a wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. You have a power smart liftgate, ultrasonic rear occupant alert up here in the headliner, as well as a reclining rear seat back in the second row seats. So now as far as features that the Kona Limited has that this Tucson SEL Convenience does not, it has Highway Driving Assist 1, it has the 10.25-inch infotainment with built-in navigation, it has rear parking sensors, and it also has the premium audio system where this Tucson has just the standard 6-speaker setup. So outside of this, the features and technologies are going to be very similar between the two. You know, both have heated front seats. The seat materials are going to be very similar. Like I said, this one's leatherette seating, that one's technically leather, but I think they are very comparable. I think the Tucson's actually a little bit softer with the leatherette. They're both going to have the digital gauge cluster, leather wrap steering wheel, just a bunch of standard stuff like that. So those are the main advantages of each of these two models. So now moving on to exact pricing differences between these two vehicles. Maybe you've got some guesses going on as you've been watching this video as to the price difference, but I'm going to pretend once again that this is an all-wheel drive SEL Convenience Tucson, comparing it to the all-wheel drive Limited Kona. So the Kona Limited all-wheel drive starts at $31,595 including destination, and the Tucson SEL Convenience all-wheel drive starts at $33,095 once again including destination. So that is a difference of just $1,500 between these two vehicles. Now that is not including any additional accessories that each vehicle has or any extra cost paint colors, like this red Tucson I'm sitting in is a $400 extra cost color, but that is the base entry-level starting price for each of these two trims. So yeah, that is pretty much going to wrap up this comparison video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button. As always, it helps out these videos and the channel. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure to smash that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications, and check out some of the other videos I have available, including other side-by-side comparisons just like this one. So let me know down in the comment section below which one you would choose if you were in the market for a low to mid $30,000 price point SUV from Hyundai. Personally, I think the Tucson has a ton of value. It's definitely a lot larger than the Kona over there, so if you have limited parking or just want a smaller, more nimble SUV, then the Kona might be the way to go. But if you can accommodate a larger SUV or just want the extra space, then I think the Tucson is definitely the better buy. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.